This presentation summarizes the Hitachi Vantara Financial Services project as part of a graduate level course in Operations and Supply Chain Management held in spring 2018 at the University of Waterloo. This presentation includes the detailed overview of the project, results, and the recommendations offered by the team for future projects. Before we begin, we would like to extend our sincere gratitude and appreciation to Professor Peter Carr from the University of Waterloo for providing great leadership and mentorship throughout this project. We would also like to extend our regards and appreciation to Mr. Paul Lewis and Mr. Daniel Knight of Hitachi Vantara for their continuous guidance and support during this project. To introduce ourselves, we are the members of Team 1 responsible for Hitachi Vantara Financial Services project. Our team is comprised of 10 dedicated graduate level students at the University of Waterloo with diverse academic backgrounds within the field of engineering. The group members are Muhammad Wanas, Ali Iskandari, Mohab Ahmed, Charbel Abinahid, Shivish Agrawal, Salman Ali, Saud Aslam, Shamping Chu, Hatim Muhammad, and Navrisham Bular. Hitachi Vantara is a data management company with more than 100 years of experience. Hitachi Vantara Financial Services provides their support and expertise in data analytics and machine learning for financial institutions on a national and global scale. This project is a collaboration between Hitachi Vantara and the University of Waterloo in order to search for key performance indicators and their benchmarks related to several sub-industries of the financial services sector. The project objectives are search for KPIs and benchmarks related to the sub-industries specified by Hitachi Vantara Financial Services. Provide a detailed description of the methodologies and references used to successfully gather the deliverables. Provide weekly reports and updates to both the project client and sponsor. Create a final report including all the data requested by the client and sponsor. The project scopes are: avoid searching financial institutions outside of specified sub-industries. Avoid being generic and stick to the client's goals in each topic. Develop an interactive and inclusive environment to facilitate the exchange of knowledge. One of the most important steps for this project was creating the project plan. As a primary step towards the initiation of the project, the roles and responsibilities were allocated amongst the team members based on their skills and preferences. This is an illustration of each member's position in the project. Afterwards, each member prepared the plan for their sections in order to meet the project's objectives. Meetings with the client was held by the project manager and communications manager, who was responsible for documenting feedbacks and future client requests. The project's progress was delivered to Professor Carr on a weekly basis. Here I will be talking about project implementation. As the project proceeded, several changes were requested which affected the schedule, milestones, and other sections of the project plan. A total of 3 change requests were initiated. Perhaps the most important of these was reducing the number of sub-industries under research to 4 instead of 5 as per client request. Upon approval by the project manager, these changes were recorded and delivered to the rest of the group for each member to update their plan in accordance with these new changes. Several unexpected events faced our team during the project's progress, which had to be assessed by the risk manager. Responsive actions had to be taken in order to ensure that project's progress will not be negatively affected. A sample of the risk log is presented in this slide. Here you can see the modified milestones and Gantt charts that were created in accordance to the changes in the project. As client requested, the data related to the wealth management and investment banking had to be gathered within 1 week. In order to meet the client's request, our team had to split into 2 groups, each working on one of these topics separately. This table illustrates the distribution of the members for this event. The quality assurance of the gathered information comes next, and it was done in 2 steps. The first step had 3 possible outcomes: QA passed, pending, and failed. The pending status meant that the collected KPI requires further clarification. The second step and final step was either approval or rejection of the revised data. A sample quality assurance is presented on this slide. Now I will be talking about the project's results and discussion. Hitachi Vantara Financial Services asked our team to find the KPIs and benchmarks related to 4 sub-industries, which were banking, insurance, wealth management, and investment banking. The goal was to deliver at least 25 relevant KPIs for each of these sub-industries. The KPIs were to be presented using the format provided by the client, which can be seen in this table. The first column of the table is for placing the name of the KPI. The second column is benchmarking, where samples and industries' average values of the KPIs are placed. The third column is the measure, in which the equations of the KPI and their units are placed. The value identified column refers to how this KPI affects the sub-industry. Finally, value with Hitachi Vantara column included how exactly the related KPI could be useful to Hitachi Vantara in assisting their clients. The next 2 slides show samples of the gathered KPIs related to the 4 sub-industries. This graph summarizes the gathered results from different sub-industries. The client requested a minimum of 25 KPIs per sub-industry. Our team was successfully able to gather 42 KPIs for banking, 30 for insurance, 36 for wealth management, and 27 for investment banking. The client feedbacks regarding the deliverables was mostly positive. The client ranked the wealth management section to be the team's best performance. However, at first, investment banking did not meet the client's expectations, and therefore it had to be redone by our team. The results in the graph show the number of KPIs in the second submission of the investment banking section, which actually was satisfying to the client. The analysis of the project results and the client's feedbacks clearly indicate that this project is a success. But what were the key factors that led to this success? And are there any improvements that could be recommended for future projects? The main reasons for this success could be summed up in the following. The cooperative work between the team members. Client meetings were done in attendance of both the project manager and the communication manager, who recorded all of the information and delivered it to the team. Open communication channels were always available between all team members. Creating agendas for group meetings to allow for further review by any member if necessary. Project manager requested 30 KPIs from the team instead of the 25 requested by the client. This safety margin ensured that the number of collected KPIs would always exceed the client's expectations. Last but not least, Professor Carr's sponsorship and client's continuous guidance were vital to team's performance. After finishing the project, the team members found out that they learned a lot throughout this course of the project. Perhaps the most important of these are, team members became familiar with the concepts and developed valuable knowledge related to data management and financial services. Reliability of references is important to gather trusted data, as some of the references were initially not accepted by the client and had to be reviewed. Team meetings are important for members to understand any unclear points. An important lesson learned was understanding every member's potentials, skills, and availability before splitting them into 2 groups. This would ensure that both groups would be equally divided and produce a consistent quality of deliverables. For future projects, our team recommends the following. Inquiring each member to fill out a weekly progress report describing their performed activities. in order for the project manager to monitor and maintain their performance. Secondly, during the search and collection of KPIs, it is best that team members provide more detailed benchmarks. A clear and more detailed benchmark provides a much better context to the KPI and its application in that sub-industry. Receiving the client's documents prior to meeting with the client. This would enable team members to become familiar with each topic to be discussed in the upcoming meetings. Finally, we thank you for your time and hope that our efforts would be a valuable asset for Professor Peter Carr and Hitachi Vantara's future projects.